So, you clicked on this video because you are a small business owner or you're aspiring to be one, right? Maybe not. Maybe you're just interested in my tips. But anywho, you're here. Kick off your shoes, get comfortable, and stay because I have a very nice goodie bag that I prepared for you. This comes from my over 10 years of experience being a small business owner offering products and or services, in addition to the experiences I've had from other small business owners and their products and services. So it's a really nice goodie bag filled with lots of sweets. I'm pretty sure you can reach in and pull out something that you'll enjoy. So stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side. So glad you decided to stay. So I have 10 really nice tips for you, and I've divided them into sections. Here's a list of what we're going to cover. And let's start off with honesty. So the first 3 tips fall into the realm of honesty. Number 1, how you start your business is extremely important. You want to start off with honesty and continue with honesty. If you have something that you think is a business idea and it is rooted in deceit or tricking people or lying, don't even start it at all because it's not going to get off the floor. And even if it does, that means that you're earning what I like to call dirty money because you're getting it at the expense of others. It's not worth it. Don't do it. And when it comes to being dishonest, as I'm sure you know, most people, when they start being dishonest, they continue to be dishonest. So don't justify dishonesty and say, oh, I'm just going to do it to start off, or oh, I'm just going to do it for right now, and then later on I'll fix it and I'll change and I'll do this. Don't even start that way. Start off clean, clear, and honest, and I believe you'll receive greater rewards in your business endeavors. Number 2, give what you promised and keep your word. So if you have a product that you're offering, make sure that what you're offering is what your customers actually receive. For example, one of my businesses is a crochet-based business, and I use different types of materials in that business. So if I have a customer who pays me $55 for a crochet turban because the cost of cotton is higher than acrylic, and I tell them that that turban is going to be made in 100% cotton, but then I ship them a turban that's made in 100% acrylic. That's not right. That's being completely dishonest. Even if the customer wouldn't know the difference, that's not something that an honest and upright business owner should be doing. So make sure that what you're offering is actually what your customers are receiving. Another example relates to services. If you've agreed or offered a certain type of service to your customers and supporters, make sure you are giving the service that you've offered. If it's advertised a certain way online or on the flyer or by word of mouth, do your absolute best to make sure if someone pays you and trusts you for that service that you are giving them what they expect. Anything other than that would fall into being dishonest. Number 3. When it comes to the photos and flyers that you are putting out there, please make sure that what you are taking a picture of is what you are sending your customers, especially if you have a product-based business. So I see a lot of business owners who tend to use the stock photos or the photos that their supplier provides. That may be well and good if you're absolutely certain that the product that you're offering is the exact same product in those photos. If it's not, then you should take your own photos. And when you have photos online, do not use photos that you find from elsewhere on Google or from someone else's shop and then use them as your own and say, oh, my product looks similar to that. Similar is not good enough. It should be the exact product that you're offering. Because if you're selling something that doesn't match the picture, is that not being dishonest? It absolutely is. Same thing when it comes to flyers, cards, any type of item that you're advertising your product or service on, whatever it is that your customers are seeing, make sure that that's what they are getting. Be completely honest with all of the media that you use and live up to what your customers expect you to deliver. Number 4, ship your items on time, okay? If you have a product-based business and someone has paid you and they are expecting you to ship their item to them, you better get up and get to that post office and get that item out as soon as you can. Do not unnecessarily sit on your customers' items for no valid reason. And if there will be a delay in shipping, you need to do your absolute best to communicate that to your customers and get their understanding, their agreement, their approval, and not just pretend that, okay, just because I'm going through this, my customers are going to have to accept it. Don't just assume that your customers are always going to be comfortable and accepting of issues that you might be experiencing. That leads me right into number 5. If you know that you've made a mistake or done something wrong, own up to it, take accountability, and be the first to offer a refund. Your customers should not have to chase behind you trying to get their money back, especially if you know that you've made a mistake or you've done something wrong. It is okay to have to give a refund. You would rather your customer be satisfied with a refund than dissatisfied with receiving an item or not receiving an item and then going on social media, spreading it by word of mouth that you are a bad business owner, because that could hurt you for a really, really long time. So don't make your customers have to chase behind you to get their money back. Offer their money back when you've made a mistake. Number 6, you absolutely have to have good and timely communication with your supporters. If you don't have proper communication, not only can you hurt the rapport with your existing customers, but you can also be shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to gaining potential new customers. You have to be communicative. You have to be responsive, especially if you are the only one running your business. You are going to have to wear a lot of hats. And so being professional and timely in your communication is one of those hats. If you're already comfortably running a business and if there's going to be a change to your product and or your service in any way, shape, form, or fashion, you want to make absolutely sure that you communicate that as early as possible to your customers so that they can decide if they are comfortable with the change that's coming up. Do not wait and communicate things at the very last minute and just expect everybody to be okay with it. You have to be highly respectful of your customers, and one way to be highly respectful is to respect their time and respect their opinions and their decision making. So once again, this is a big one. If you're going to have a change to your product and your service, even if it's minor, be very, very open. Communicate that to your customers as early as possible. And if some of your customers don't like the change, don't take offense. If they decide that they don't want to continue using something, whether it be a product or having your services provided to them, it's all right. Everyone is not meant to be your customer, and everyone is not meant to be your customer for an extended period of time. That is part of owning a business, to be able to accept that and not take offense. Number 7, be as punctual as possible when it comes to providing a service and or delivering a product. So this kind of stems off of shipping, but when it comes to a service, if you agree to have a meeting with someone at 11 a.m., it is so not okay for you to just stroll in at noon expecting everyone to just be comfortable with it because you're the one that runs or owns the business. You have to be respectful of your customers' time, so be punctual. If you're not punctual, a lot of people can see that as a lack of professionalism. And if they're anything like me, if I'm dealing with someone and I notice too many areas of lacks in professionalism or otherwise, then I may simply decide not to work with that person anymore. So being punctual and delivering your services and or items in a timely fashion is of absolute importance. And if you know that you're going to be late, hey, we're humans, things happen, right? So if you know that you're going to be late, don't just be late without apologizing. Offer a sincere apology. Most people will understand because we all know that life happens, okay? And some things will simply be out of your control. But don't just show up late without apologizing or offering an explanation, because your customers deserve to know why. Especially if they've given you their money, they're trusting you. Don't waste their time. Number 8. Conflict resolution. This is a major one. because so many of us like to avoid conflict at all costs. Some conflicts are necessary, and some conflicts can actually be positive and beneficial. So don't be of the mindset to simply avoid conflicts at all costs. As a business owner, you will run into issues and problems. Some will be from your side and some will be from the customer side. And let me just say this, I am not of the school of thought that the customer is always right. And you're not always right either. People make mistakes, things happen. So I'm not saying that you have to bend over backwards and make yourself uncomfortable for your customers in an unhealthy way. But I am saying that you have to learn, if you don't already know, how to effectively resolve conflicts. And some customers will be difficult. You have to know how to handle that, and you also have to know how to stand up for yourself. So once again, the customer is not always right. If it's a conflict and your customer is causing problem after problem after problem, maybe it's time for them to not be your customer anymore. But if it's simply a conflict where things need to be ironed out, don't be afraid to figure that out with your customer and to work with them. Also, don't be afraid to own up to your mistakes. If you make errors, or if you make a bad decision, or if you did something that was not right towards your customer, do not be afraid to own up to that. You absolutely should. Don't be like some business owners and fall into arrogance, thinking that just because you're the business owner, you're right, or you don't have to apologize. That is not the right way to resolve conflict. And you don't want to leave a bad taste in people's mouth regarding your product or your service. So please make sure that you become comfortable, if you're not already, with resolving conflicts. And remember, no dollar amount is worth your self-respect. Set boundaries and do not allow people to take advantage of you. And if you just so happen to lose a customer or two in doing so, as long as you're protecting yourself and you did it in a healthy and professional way, then maybe it's okay to go ahead and part ways with that customer. Number 9, be ready for the work. As a small business owner, you have to wear a multitude of hats, and you have to be comfortable and stylish wearing all of them. You have to do the marketing, you have to advertise, you have to communicate, you have to give refunds, you have to ship, you have to do everything if you're running the show by yourself. If you have a team, that's great, but even having a team, you're still the head and the leader of that team, so you still have to oversee things. My point is, you have to become comfortable learning new and different things as it applies to your business. Being a small business owner, an entrepreneur, or what have you is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to put in work. You're going to be tired. You're going to lose sleep. It takes a lot. Not only do you have to invest money sometimes to start, but you have to invest a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort. So don't think that you can come in lackadaisically, just do whatever you want to do and that your business is going to be successful from that. You have to put in the work. So be mentally prepared, be emotionally prepared, but also don't allow it to consume you in an unhealthy way, and aim to have a nice balance in achieving your business goals, also spending time with family, and also taking care of yourself. It does take a lot to be a business owner, whether you're small, big, or whatever the size might be. But taking care of you is very important so that you can be who you need to be for your business to be successful. Last one, number 10, be open to feedback and constructive criticism. It's okay to let somebody know that you're learning or that you're growing. Don't pretend that you know it all if you don't. One of the biggest things that I've learned from being a small business owner is to listen to your customers, listen to your supporters. Even if their voice is small and they're saying something in a very nice way, really read into what they're saying and see if it's something in their words that you can take to heart and or consider in the effort to change and grow. We learn from each other. So if someone is giving you constructive criticism or feedback or advice in any way, don't take offense if offense is not necessary. Now, I'm very big on standing up for yourself, so sometimes you will have to put people in their place. But sometimes you do need to have a very open ear and listen to what other people are telling you. Take heed and take action on that as well, because if you really want to be a good business owner, if you really want to grow and be successful, listening to others is one way to do that. Last tip I want to give you is simply have fun with it. It's not one of the 10 pieces of advice, but have fun with what you do. If you get to a point to where you're constantly burning out and you no longer find what you're doing to be enjoyable, then that might be an indicator that something needs to change and or you may need to go a different route. So don't be afraid to try something and realize that it doesn't work for you and move forward to something different. Also, you have to start. You have to start. Just start. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about having every little thing. You will gain things as you go and you will learn things as you grow. Don't be afraid to start. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Thanks for watching. Peace, blessings, love, and light. God be with you.